We know what meaning we want to deliver, and we have a pretty good idea who our customers are. Just 3 things. Life is still pretty simple. So now that we have an idea for how to solve a real customer problem, and we've hopefully done some testing and prototyping, it's time for the rubber to meet the road and actually develop that new product or service. Now let's assume you don't have all the time in the world or all the money in the world, and you actually want to finish this development within a specified amount of time and within a specified budget. So how do you do that? Well, one thing you could do is to adopt an effectuation perspective. An effectuation perspective means using the means at hand to reach a goal that you've set yourself. This is in contrast to causation, where you start out with a fixed goal and then you decide what you need to get there. In effectuation, the end goal will be somehow influenced by the means at hand. Effectuation requires creativity and the ability to see possibilities. Remember when I invited you to create a mode of transportation using an unlikely set of objects? That's an example of effectuation. Another possibility is to use some form of open innovation. This is where you bring in outsiders to help you develop your product or service. A common form of open innovation is co-creating with customers. That's inviting some customers to come in and help you define and develop a product or service that you then hope these customers and others like them will want to buy.
Open innovation is a very interesting idea. Part of this discussion is about co-creation with customers. This means involving customers in the development of new products or services in active roles. This is a very popular idea and it seems like everyone is for it. But is it always beneficial? Co-creation is seen as being in line with customer orientation and with the growing trend of customer empowerment brought about, for example, by social network sites, in which customers may actually want to be involved in developing new products. At the same time, there are arguments against involving customers in new product development. They are believed to lack the specialist knowledge and competence needed. They may not be able to evaluate new concepts when they lack a familiar reference, and they may not be willing or able to think outside their current needs. So on one hand, firms would like to know what customers want so they can fulfill these wants. But on the other hand, there is the dilemma that customers may not really know what they want. Research has examined the effectiveness of co-creation depending on new product radicalness, and whether new products are radically new in terms of utilitarian functionality, or in terms of hedonic qualities. An example of incremental utilitarian innovation is a longer life battery for mobile phones. A light-emitting diode based on advanced technological research is an example of radical utilitarian innovation. Offering mobile phones in different colors is an example of incremental hedonic innovation. But designing household implements to look like people or animals is a good example of radical hedonic innovation. The research found that by itself, involving customers in new product development does not contribute to market success. This seems to contradict much of the hype around co-creation. The research indicated that co-creation contributes positively to market success when utilitarian radicalness is high, meaning that there is a radically new technology or functionality, but negatively when utilitarian radicalness is low. When hedonic radicalness is high, which means that the product will deliver a radically new meaning for customers, co-creation contributes negatively to market success, but when hedonic radicalness is low, the contribution is positive.
So if you're developing a product or service intended to deliver meaning to customers, and I hope you are, involving customers in the development probably won't be that useful. But you can involve customers in the development of the functional aspects. Just keep them away from the meaning aspects. There are a lot of ways to develop products or services, and each case will impose its own set of requirements and limitations. In fact, part of your brilliance as an entrepreneur is coming up with new ways to develop products and services. If you follow a recipe, you're likely to end up with less than awesome results. Just remember to keep your mind on the idea, the meaning, and the customer at all times. It's very easy to forget the customer when you get all wrapped up in the idea. On the flip side, if you listen too closely to customers, your idea might get watered down. And the meaning? Very often, customers won't even understand the meaning until they hold it in their hands. But you have to keep it at the forefront of your thinking throughout the development process.